G'day whisky lovers, welcome back to the Hard Malts. My name's Tim and I'm here with another whisky review. Today we have something a little bit special, a little bit unusual, in that we have an independently bottled single cask Ben Nevis. So this particular release comes from Decadent Drinks, who are an independent bottler in Scotland. And this is from their WhiskySponge line, and this one's bottled exclusively for Australia, and currently you can buy this still from the Whisky List Australia, and I'll pop a link in the description for anybody that likes the sound of this review. Perhaps you could pick up a bottle of your own and give it a try for yourself. So let's see what we've got. So we know it's a Ben Nevis 10-year-old, distilled in 2013, bottled in 2024. 166 bottles came out of the cask. It was tells us it's been matured in a refill butt, so that's a ex-bourbon barrel, and finished in a refill quarter cask, which is again an ex-bourbon barrel, but it's a smaller format, so you get more surface area to the whiskey in the cask, and therefore it imparts bit more cask influence in that finish. This one is 57.1%, so it's going to be a hefty one. First things first, let's get some into this Ben Nevis glass, which I managed to pick up from the distillery earlier this year. So let's see what we've got here. Really interesting mix of sweet, salty, savoury, bit of sourness. That sweetness is a bit of candied citrus. It's very subtle, but it's there. Then you've got this sour, sort of salty, earthy aroma coming through. It's not, I wouldn't say it's briny, and not really coastal either, which makes sense because Ben Nevis are in the Highlands, so they're nowhere near the coast. Yeah, very slightly funky as well. Some people do call Ben Nevis the Springbank of the Highlands. I can go along with that, especially with this particular dram. Let's see how we go on the palate. Very smooth on the palate, considering how strong it is. On the palate starts off with that bit of sweetness as well. The mid palate develops into that really funky mix of sweet, savoury, salty, sour, which is you're not going to find that kind of flavour profile in a lot of whiskies. So I'd say that this one is probably not one for the whisky beginner. It's more so one for whisky adventurers such as myself, in that every now and then we come across one of these and it just makes us stop and think and sit there and enjoy it and sip it. This is definitely a sipper. It's almost quaffable, but I dare say if you had too many glasses of this, you'll be on your ear. But it's an absolutely delicious change from a lot of whiskies I've had recently. This one is really challenging my senses and making me search out all the different flavours that are in this whisky. Go for another sip. got a really savoury finish. There's hints of the sweetness there, but it's mostly savoury and funky, slightly funky. It's a really interesting finish for a really interesting whiskey, and that finish just makes you want to go for another sip, which I will. Very enjoyable whiskey. It's just so nice to have something different that you can pull out of the cabinet every now and then, and just sit there and enjoy it. So, would I buy this bottle again? Now, as I said, it is still currently available through the Whisky List Australia, and again, I will pop that link in the description so you can all check it out. I did contemplate having a backup bottle, buying a backup bottle of this one, but I think for me right now, I'm enjoying the different experiences I get from the different bottlings I've been purchasing recently, especially the independent bottlings, and some of them being single cask. They are truly singular experiences, and I think I prefer to keep it that way. So I'm going to enjoy this bottle. It will be disappointing once it's all gone. However, I know that there's going to be some just as interesting, if not more interesting, bottlings coming my way in the future, and that's something to look forward to. So that's my opinion on this Ben Nevis. I absolutely look for different bottlings of Ben Nevis as well, because this is the first bottle that I've purchased. And while we're on the topic, and I still have a bit in the glass to enjoy, a little bit about Ben Nevis Distillery. So they are at the foothills of Ben Nevis, the highest mountain in the UK, and they're around Fort William, which is almost the gateway to the Highlands. The distillery is actually owned by Nikka Whiskey in Japan, and not much of the Ben Nevis liquid actually makes it out to Australia, let alone other parts of the world either. So we're quite lucky to be able to get bottlings like this one from the WhiskySponge. I did manage to stop at Ben Nevis Distillery in May this year during my trip through Scotland, and it was an unplanned trip, and I didn't have a tour booked, so their distillery tours were actually all booked out for the day, so I missed out on seeing inside the distillery, but managed to have a quick look around, pop into the shop, see the distillery bar, and then made my way over to a viewpoint to see Ben Nevis, the mountain itself, which was quite a sight. So, wrapping up this video, I'll chuck some snaps from Ben Nevis Distillery and Ben Nevis, the mountain itself, at the end of this video, and I will see you in the next one. Slange Bar.